Hey, what is up, Los Angeles? Welcome to your Rams LAFB show. I'm your host, Ryan Anderson, joined by Brittany McReynolds, the great and wonderful and loved. What's going on? How are you doing on this Rams rivalry run-up?
I'm hanging in there. Yeah. Felt like we had an extra bye, coming off of the Saints game. So I'm locked in because this isn't a game that we should take lightly, right? Rivalry game, whatever you want to call it, but I'm locked in. I'm ready.
Yeah, the Rams head into this. They're 4.5-point favorites, road favorites, going to the house that Blue Jeans built, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, take on the evil empire up north. I'm not even gonna say their name.
Them, right?
They up there.
Them.
Yeah, it's funny. On paper, this seems like a game the Rams offense should just run away with. But we can't have it that good. We can't have it like that. This is gonna be the game that it is, as always. So yeah, just what are your initial thoughts on this game? Where the Rams have come. We haven't talked to you in a couple weeks. The offense seems reinvigorated. Bringing in heavier personnel, all those tight ends, 13 personnel.
Love it.
Not just the Puka Nacua show. It seems like the Davante thing is working better now. Some better communication and camaraderie between he and Stafford. What are your thoughts?
No, yeah, totally. So, I mean, considering that I think that we've outscored opponents in the last 3 weeks. We're 3-0 in the last 3 weeks, right? And then we've outscored our opponents 80 something to 20. Offense is looking really good. I love the heavy personnel. I think that that's going to actually be key to what helps us go into San Jose, California, Santa Clara, and to beat that team, because I don't think I think that that's like some of our newer stuff, asterisk type plays that Sean has in the playbooks. And I think that he's starting to see how well it's executing on the field. Ferguson looks good. He's obviously getting a lot more burn. Like, it really excites me seeing our offense just look so good. I mean, Matthew Stafford is in MVP talks. Davante Adams already has 8 touchdowns on the season. Kyren Williams rushed for 100 yards last week. Like, who are we?
That's a great question. It's funny you bring up the running game, because that was always something that Ryan and I went back and forth on over, well, not even really back and forth. We were just saying, can we get a steady hand with the running game? In 2023, we saw it really, really take hold. And now I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm so back to Sean McVay is in this bag of the passing game. Yeah. And it's been so impressive and cohesive that it's a complementary piece again, the running game. So, and having Blake Corum as that more explosive, they were really going back and forth in the Saints game.
Yeah.
Which is a hard, you can't take a lot away from it just because of the level of competition. But I have to say that it is feeling so much more fluid, and the passing game seems back. It seems explosive, and it seems scary, and it seems like at any point they can go off rather than just hammering Puka Nacua, for 20 targets a game, and he exits because he just keeps getting hit. There's more variety. And obviously he played a big role in that win, but he left again with a chest injury, a rib injury. It sounds like that he seems like he's on track to come back from it. So he'll be in there. But this variety allows them to put him on a little bit of a pitch count, so he doesn't have to be Superman on every play. So yeah, I'm in total agreement. I think what you said about Terrence Ferguson, I think he's played such an important role in that, in the 13 personnel, and they've run this play. His first touchdown, he was in line as a tight end between, I can't remember if it was Colby Parkinson, Tyler Higbee, but he just goes straight up the field. No chip help, just runs 30 yards, touchdown, and a similar play last week as well. So
yeah.
so that field stretcher ability is really coming out. And, just bringing up the 49ers defense, I mean, decimated by injuries.
I mean,
Kyren Williams out, Fred Warner
now
out.
to just the last hanging on by a thread. I mean, yeah, that it's insane. Their first round draft pick, the guy that they had on the edge. Then you have Bosa, who's been out, Fred Warner. I mean, I will say that just from what I've seen, well, what I know about Bob Saleh is that he's a guy. We wanted him gone out of the division for a reason. Like he knows how to coach him up, especially those linebackers, especially just the ball hawks that are in the middle of the field. So I say that to say that the guy who stepped up for Fred Warner, I mean, they say he's playing his butt off. He's a 7th round pick. You had some big shoes to fill, and the way that they say that he's playing, and just from what I've seen, I think that he's done a good job to kind of patch the hole for now, but I think that what Super Bowl teams are built on depth, and it's like next man up. And yeah, you guys have some really important pieces that are on the bench, and you guys are getting wins now, but will that sustain you guys, week to week? And especially this week when it's really important for the Rams to come there and punch you in the mouth after what you guys did to us at home, like that could decimate you guys. Like, I think that just, like I said, the longevity of the season with all the injuries that they already have, how do you sustain that? So I hope that the game plan is to go in there and to just absolutely dominate, like no slowing down, because the way that we started that first game, we were down 14-0 from the very beginning of the game. So there was really no offensive spark. It just more so was trying to get back in the game. And then when we were playing defense, as elite as our defense is playing and as on top as they are on paper, top 10 almost in everything, we got absolutely cooked in that 49er game by Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne. And we know what they like to do. They like to do those little short dump off passes to McCaffrey. They like to run the ball. They got Kittle back. We know this team, but we didn't know that team. We didn't know that Thursday night Niner team with those backups. So it's like, I love the National Football League because it's just like any given Sunday, right? There's just so much parity. And I saw somebody say either the Niners are going to win or they're going to lose by like 25. Both I can see happening.
Yeah. What is interesting about the Rams offense over the last several weeks is they've done a really good job of protecting Matthew Stafford.
Oh, for sure. He's been clean.
And his stats when he's clean have been insane. Something like 75% completion rate. Obviously most of his yards. Nobody gets better under pressure. Few quarterbacks do. He doesn't have his legs. He is more. Greg Rosenthal pointed this out on his show that he dirts the ball a lot more. He's kind of getting into that Tom Brady version of his late career, which is good. Yeah. Don't get hit. Keep that back. Keep that back good. The 49ers don't really have a pass rush, just a handful of pressures for them over the last couple of weeks. So that's what I mean by on paper, this should be an offensive route from the Rams. And, going back to, what we were talking about with McVay. Well, I just wanted to point out Tatum Bethune, I believe, is the linebacker you're referring to. Yeah, lot of heat right now. So keep an eye out for that guy. McVay coming from behind was an interesting wrinkle for much of his early career, and he's gotten better at it. But he really, I don't know if he knows exactly what to do when he's 14 points down. And these previous,
he doesn't get to play the game the way that he likes to play the game. So
100%.
It definitely, I wouldn't say stumps him, but you can tell it's not his favorite thing to do. Who would want to play from down? But, when we're not firing, we're a totally different team. You know what I mean? Like if we get a slow start on offense, it's just not to say that it's a lost cause, but it's really hard to get it going because that is like the identity of this Rams team with McVay at the helm. And it's been so for so many years. So I totally understand what you're saying about.
Yeah, and those last few games that they've played, they got out to a big lead on all those teams. So I think that's really key. And McVay is kind of stubborn in a way. Didn't seem like he wanted, we heard heading into really the last two seasons. It was like he's moving to 12 personnel. Look at these moves. Oh, they got Terrence Ferguson. 12 personnel is going to happen. And we don't see it right off the bat. Puka gets hurt, and then we see it, and everything changes, and he's like, oh. and another one, Cardi,
Oh my gosh.
with his foibles, has made him more aggressive on fourth down, which is, hit or miss, but it's been a hit the last couple of weeks. So, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those McVay things, I guess I can put it at that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just the whole Terrence Ferguson thing. I talk about this all the time. Just, we're slowly starting to see him get worked in, because McVay is the type of guy where it's like, you got to know your ish, like when the quiz gets popped up, you have to ace it, or else I can't send you on the field. And so I think that it took some time for him to really just kind of find his way into the offense and get up to speed. But I said back in May, I tweeted to so many people, this was the last guy that they wanted McVay to get his hands on in terms of a tight end specimen, because he's that leaner frame. He's not a big body like the Tyler Warren guy. Even the Loveland kid that went to Chicago, he's just a leaner, good blocking, can get upfield quick tight end. And I mean, McVay loves a good tight end. I mean, Higbee's been with us for how long? He goes after Parkinson, gives him all this money. I get the vision. And I think that we finally have the pieces to execute it. So that gives McVay all the confidence,
Yeah, 100%. And,
Stafford,
it's no secret he wanted Brock Bowers in the previous draft before they ended up
I
going.
understand why. We'll probably see it tonight. He's going to be the only weapon out there in Vegas. But
the Raiders are playing.
He's a great weapon to have.
Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. So I bring up Cardi. So they're doing this kicking competition. They're doing this kicking competition with the so-called thicker kicker.
Oh, thicker kicker.
243 pounds.
Man.
Do you know who on the team also weighs 243 pounds? Middle linebacker Omar Speights.
Omar Speights. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So linebacker bowling ball, kicking the ball. I love it. Mevis.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make it out of the kicking competition. They did say today that they're going to decide it today. But I mean,
maybe
brings up.
Maybe it's just all psychological. Maybe the contest never existed. This was just the stint to come in, apply the pressure to Cardi, because who knows? Maybe it is mental. Maybe McVay is just a mental master, and he's just trying to get him psyched out. And this was the plan all along.
Let's hope it's fixed, because I mean,
it better be
100%. And I wanted to use it. Oh, special teams, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it all, they bring in another long snapper, maybe a similar situation, some competition, some mind games, maybe in that as well. Chase Blackburn has not been fired. Special teams coordinator is still in place. And yeah, I think, I wanted to bring up that because I wanted to talk a little bit of trade deadline with you. No big moves at the deadline, obviously adding Roger McCreary a couple of days before the deadline. Do you think, with what the Eagles did, one of the contenders, one of the competition, with what the Colts did, making an aggressive move for Sauce Gardner, do you think it's a mistake that they didn't do the old Rams move and go scoop up a playmaker, edge rusher, another cornerback, something?
So basically, do I think that they made the right decision by not going all in?
Well, that they,
That's what the Colts did. The Colts went all in. I think that the Eagles, and Eagles fans will probably be mad at me, I think that they just had to fill some holes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they were as complete as they thought that they were. So I don't think that was like setting them over the hump. But I think that that's helping them out for sure. We both know that the Rams secondary isn't elite right now. You know, like that's probably been our weakest spot on defense just because of the guys that we have. The Kello injury was huge. But I think that DB room being so set the beginning of the season, them knowing that they were sticking with Emmanuel Forbes, them knowing they were sticking with the Kello and all those other guys, like I don't think that they want to go out and spend the capital. Like the risk isn't worth the reward. Like that was a steep price that the Colts went after Sauce Gardner for. And I mean, you're kind of mortgaging your future in a sense. 2 years, you won't have a first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that like the Rams are huge on in-house talent. Like they develop you, you know, if you can get a guy to vouch for you, which I hear Aubrey Pleasant is really, really big on just like being the Emmanuel Forbes guy. So if you can get a guy in your corner and, you know, McVay hears about it, we kind of stick with you. And I think that that is a really good system in a sense of like belief, because belief is a heck of a drug, you know, and like it brings out a lot in players, I think. Now, reality. I think that maybe even adding one more corner would have been ideal for us, considering the feet ahead when we're going to be playing a team like, let's just skip one week and say Seattle, who just added a receiver, you know, into their arsenal. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to pick up one more corner. But you just kind of have to trust that they're working these guys. Like Emmanuel Forbes looked good. It was the Saints, but granted, Rashid Shaheed was on that same team. Chris Olave is on that team. And you have to consider that they have a quarterback that can barely get them the ball. But I really think that they're really planting the seeds, you know, to just hone in the in-house talent and, you know, work with what we have to get to the ship, to get to the big dance instead of trying to F those picks again.
Yeah, you see James Gladstone really taken to that philosophy over the last couple of moves that they've made. You bring up the Rashid Shaheed move to Seattle. That's going to be an interesting game. I totally agree with you. I am 100%. You say depth wins playoff games and championships, gets you to the playoffs and whatnot. Looking at the depth chart, wondering about Akello, wondering a little bit about Darius Williams and his shoulder. He seems on maybe like he's going to be back, but a little bit more depth there, I would have felt a lot better about. There's still free agency that's out there. Asante Samuel Jr. just was medically cleared to play. He's got some fused discs in his back. Stephon Gilmore is still out there. So they can still add. But before we get to the other side of the ball, talk about this defense. Let's talk about sleeper fantasy all season long, backing the LAFB. They've got our code Rams LAFB. Sign up now. Get $100 in. If you put $100 in, you get $100. And what are you gonna do with that money, Brittany? What are we gonna do with that? We're gonna play daily fantasy.
Yeah.
Pick up to 8 players, 2 to 8 players. Over unders. It's a lot of fun. Not only are they gonna give you $100 if you put $100 in, free $20. Holy cow! Why not? Go download Sleeper. It's the fastest growing fantasy app out there and have some fun. There's a social aspect to it. You can play with your friends. You can meet new people, meet other Rams fans, and have a good time with a little free money from Sleeper. Rams LAFB. One word. Go check it out. It helps us out definitely. So let's flip this around. Let's talk about this Rams defense that has been fierce, stifling, terrifying. The defensive front has just not let up, and they've only gotten better.
Front seven is playing lights out.
Yeah, some of the best statistics, some of the best advanced metrics out there for this. What are your thoughts about? I mean, this is where the rubber actually meets the road. I said on paper, the Rams should beat the 49ers hands down with all those injuries on defense. We got Shanahan, we got Mac Jones, maybe Brock Purdy. I think maybe they're doing a little gamesmanship with Purdy. I don't know. Maybe they're going to do a little, Superman coming out of the whatever, the phone booth with him. We'll see. But you got CMC, you got George Kittle, you got Kendrick Bourne. Maybe Ricky Pearsall will be back. He's not looking too hot at the moment. But what are your thoughts on this side of the ball? Can you wait? I have a question. Can you hear the mariachi music from my next door neighbor?
No, hey, no, but I wish.
They have a band. I live next to an Episcopal church that has an event. And
the church is mariachi?
Somebody is.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay. So, Niners offense. They have Kittle back. I think that's a big component for them. CMC, I wouldn't say that he's just that like bursting, quick CMC that we're used to. Obviously, coming back from injury, he's playing good ball. When we played him, though, I think that we held him to under 100 rushing yards.
Well, he had 82 in the receiving game.
Got it. So that's where it was. There we go. So those quick little dump offs, they are king of that. Kyle Shanahan loves that. When they used to have Debo, that was another little trickery type play that they'd run. I think that the depleted personnel, we got to take advantage of that. We were in such a soft coverage playing them. Like we were sitting in the zone. I can't tell you how many passes I saw Kendrick Bourne catching the slant. And like the yards after carry were like 10, 12, just because, we were playing so far off.
Yeah.
The way that the taste that game left in the defense's mouth, I'm sure that there's absolutely no way that they're going to come out trying to do anything but get to the quarterback, get to the ball, sack party. And we need to play some man coverage, like press those receivers, especially when they're so limited. They're going to probably try to get a couple bodies on Kittle, though. You got to double team him, right? Just because the way that they use him in the middle, he's just so dangerous.
Yeah.
But Vegas loves us. The spread has already moved a whole point. It opened at 3.5. It's up to 4.5. The Rams are the favorite to win the NFC. So lots of eyes, lots of people counting on us. A lot of people believe in us.
You bring up a great point about the kind of Sarah Barshop posted something, and I'm not going to remember the exact numbers, but right now they have something like a 35% chance to win the NFC West or something like that per ESPN's what have you. Niners are right behind them at like 32%. Don't quote me.
We're in Seattle, probably right behind them.
They're definitely right in the mix for sure. But the Niners are 3-0 in the division right now. So that skews the math in a big way. Whoever wins this game, it jumps up to over 50% chance of winning.
Oh, wow.
So this is the most important game up to this point. They have one NFC win, period. Yeah. The Rams do. Yeah. So they got to start racking. It's
not the best on paper. I mean, it's the Saints. So
yeah. And they got Bucks and the Lions and
that. I was going to bring that up. Just the next slew of games that we have, the stretch is, I mean, it's going to be grueling, but if we can make it out of that with the next 4 games, at least 3 wins, we've for sure proven ourselves. Yeah. But we have to have the mentality that we can't drop any games because the NFC West is just so tough. The Niners would have 2 games on us. That would be insane. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that would be really rough. And I'm looking at that Seattle game. I mean, I'm looking at the last time they played, I was like, they're going to win. This time they're playing, I'm like, they're going to win. This is like, but that Seattle game is going to test that defensive backs, those linebackers. You know, so where was I going with all of this? So one of the things I've been obsessed with lately is how much dime this team plays. The Rams play on defense,
Yeah.
keeping six DBs on the field, and they got some really talented defensive backs. Cam Curl being able to play up in the box. Quentin Lake doing what he's doing. Four's up for him. You know, but they played a season high of dime against the 49ers the last time they played. 43 snaps. That's exactly half.
I think they're going to
And
change that personnel. They have to.
they have to adjust it just because I think Kittle and CMC can both cook against, Kittle's too big and Chris McCaffrey's just too hard and versatile. He's in the backfield, then he's split out. So I think they're gonna have to switch that up, and they can go. The 49ers can go heavy too with Luke Farrell and Jake Tonges out of nowhere.
Tonges, but it's Tonges. Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember that because on the Royal Gemstones they're doing Tonges, and I was anyway.
Okay, well, you remember.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I think they have to stay on their toes. This defense is better when they're running downhill. And they got to get more than one sack on Mac Jones. They beat the heck out of that guy. They beat the heck out of him in the first game. He looked like he was limping around and his pants were falling down, literally.
Oh, yeah, I think he was throwing up. He had to go get a banana on the sideline. I was at that game, and I saw him get splattered onto the turf at one point, and I was like, and then he came back in and just lit it up on us. So definitely getting to Mac Jones is going to be key. I'm interested to see if they're going to put Roger McCreary on the field, because what I would assume, kind of getting him into the lineup based on the coverage that he would play in Tennessee, he'd be outside a lot, or he can do inside outside, which would give Quentin Lake a lot more versatility. I just think that the faster that we can get him on field, just as one of the bigger size DBs that we have, the better,
Yeah. Their hands have been tied a bit without Akello in man coverage. They don't run a ton of man coverage, lots of cover 2, cover 3. But it's going to be so important to get him into this game plan, because he is a guy that can body up a Kittle. I think he's a bit more athletic than Quentin Lake. As much as I love Quentin Lake, he's much more of a cerebral player, leader as well. McCreary is a good athlete. So yeah, I think he's going to be critical as well. So, this phase of the game is going to be the more interesting one. It's probably going to be the more back and forth one, but I think, it's just it's gotta be the dogs up front. They got to win that trench battle.
Sure.
And surprising
pressure. Just the way that our front seven, just that, our defensive line has been eating. You haven't really heard Braden Fiske's name. He got his first sack on Sunday, but the way that he's taken the double teams, the way that he's taken on those linemen, it allows everybody else to kind of come off the edge or just, break through and get a tackle. He can't really get those stump moves off and eat like he was last year, but everybody has their hand in it, on that D line intricately. And I think that they just get better. The more they work together, the more they play together, they just continue to get better. Everybody is starting to eat. Big Merch, Stewie, that's not even me naming the main guys. Kobe Turner, Agent Zero, Verse, everybody you hear everybody's name on Sunday.
Yeah. We were doing mid-season awards with Aaron Coscarelli a couple of weeks. Well, during the bye week. And I was like, all right, defensive player of the year for the Rams is Byron Young. And she's like, no, it is the whole defensive line.
Yeah.
And that's true. I mean, and I've been probably unnecessarily critical of Jared Verse, because I want him to be in the conversation of defensive player of the year. And I don't, unless he really lights it up over the last part of the season, I don't think he will be, just because of the sack numbers aren't there. But I think, how satisfying would it be as a Rams fan to just watch him eat 4 sacks?
Yeah.
Pressures all game. Him. And they play him all over the place, and he is the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak, for it. So I mean, he's doing a lot of work. His true pass rush rate is phenomenal, top 5, maybe number 4.
Yeah.
So he's doing work, but it's like, the superstar, because it's Aaron Donald in the Super Bowl coming up with, and the NFC Championship game coming up with critical sacks.
Critical sacks, both
on the down that it needs to happen at the right, third down. Jimmy Garoppolo dropping back. It's Aaron Donald, and that's the kind of next step I want to see for Jared Verse.
Yeah,
and
he isn't like, he's still kind of like a new pup. Let's give him that.
He's year 2. He's year 2.
So year 2. And again, he has so many pieces around him. Aaron Donald was the guy that was getting double, triple, quadruple teamed, and he was still eating off of all that. I think that this is just such a unique situation where we have such a slew of young guys on the defensive front. And like I said, just everybody is having an impact. Byron Young is one of the sack leaders, but like, look at the company that he's with. He's with Brian Burns, Myles Garrett, Nito Bonito. I think he's probably still up there. Like, yeah, those are good names.
I love your nicknames, by the way. You always come up with the best nicknames for guys. What was for Nito Bonito? That's really good.
I think a lot of people call him that, like in Denver. Denver fans gave him that name. So I ran with that one.
I love it. I don't know why I don't know that, but yeah, it's good. So any other final thoughts? Any X factors that we didn't touch on? Anything last final words?
Last final words. I'll give you a score prediction. I think that the Rams are going to win. I think that they're going to cover the spread. I think that this is really going to be the game where they set they make their presence known in the NFC, like this is a great get back game for them to go up there and win by 10 points. So Rams 31-21.
Oh, I love it. I refuse to pick over 30 points for this game, even for this team specifically. So I like your boldness.
Okay.
I'm going to believe again. I was about to say they weren't going to cover.
Oh,
I think it's going to be a 5-point win. So they're going to cover.
Okay.
25-20.
Ew, 25. Okay. Well, you know what? Something crazy is probably going to happen. We're probably going to safety and
it does.
end up with 25 points.
Right. Ryan always gives me crap about picking weird scores.
That is the craziest number. I'd be pissed, like if I played the Super Bowl squares, like the 100 squares, and then you get the number. If my name was in the 5, I'd be pissed. Like,
yeah, I like picking the weird ones just because I root for chaos and weird things to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is there another way to score 2 points? Well, 2-point conversion, but there's probably going to be a 2-point conversion in this game, I bet.
Okay, I
don't know why.
This isn't the game for me for a weird score, but stay tuned. If I'm on the show next week, I think I can cook something up. If that feels like the game.
Well, we'll definitely have you back on for that preview, because I am so excited for that game.
Me too.
I love being able to learn things about this team, and I just feel like that's the kind of, I don't feel like they've had. The Indianapolis was a very I learned a lot from that game. Houston, I learned a lot from that game. Jags, they're good amount of lessons and tidbits from that one. Saints, no. The Niners, we're not going to learn anything about the teams.
Right. It's just kind of like that weird brother plays his brother type game where it's just like, oh, okay, that happened. Seattle, I get what you're saying, especially because this Mike McDonald team is they're mysterious to me. They're like a dark horse. But then again, I look at it like we know Sam Darnold. And when you think about it, I told somebody, take Clint Kubiak out of the situation because, like, obviously he's the brain power behind it all. But do you remember Sam Darnold last year with all those weapons? Same type of weapons, same type of receivers, same type of speed, same type of tight end. They use the tight ends in the same way. And when we saw them that second time, well, we played them once and the first time on that Thursday night game and we won. And then when we saw them that second time, I think that everybody had a sack. It was insane. So I say that to say the defense knows Sam Darnold. So you can take a lot of his tendencies, I think, and you can put that into play. The thing that worries me is just they utilize their pieces just so well, like just to precision, the way that they have their tight ends on the field and they put them in the right spots. And then the way that they can get the ball to Jackson Smith and Jigba, like I remember his breakout game. I think it was against us last year. And he's just been cooking ever since. So we'll see. No, I'm excited for that game too. I really am because they're talking a lot about Seattle. They're talking a lot about the Rams. Let's settle it. One game at a time, though. One game at a time.
Well, I was about to point that out. The Rams can't be looking too far ahead either. They got to keep their head.
Just me and you.
Well, the Rams got to keep their head in week 10 and before week 11 gets here. And you and I
focus on San Jose.
Do the same. Focus on the San Jose 49ers.
The San Jose 49ers.
It's closer than San Francisco.
It really is.
Yeah, guys, we really appreciate you tuning in, we'll call it, and continuing your support for the LAFB and the Rams LAFB show. Definitely go check out stuff that we've got on the LAFBnetwork.com. Go check out Brittany Betts at Brittany Betts on X, Twitter, anywhere else. Are you anywhere else? Just Twitter.
Just Twitter.
And I'm Ryan Anderson. I'm easy to find. RL Anderson, LAFB on Twitter. Thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate you. Go check out Sleeper. Go put some money down. See if you can win a few bucks. And we will see you on the other side of this game.
On the flip side.